us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
I think when many of us hear about integrity, we think about our morals. Something like, I'm a person of integrity. When I say I'm going to be there, I'm there. Or if I say something, my behavior follows up. And that's a characteristic, and that's important. But there's also emotional integrity. And emotional integrity is different than integrity that you have morally, because I know a lot of people who are very moralistic and have a lot of integrity, but emotionally they don't. Emotional integrity is not something that you're born with. It's something that you can cultivate. Your parents can cultivate it. They cultivate it by being there, by validating feeling.
If your mama didn't plant the seeds for emotional integrity, or your father didn't plant the seeds for emotional integrity, or your grandmother didn't plant the seeds for emotional integrity, or whoever was your primary caregiver, you got a barren garden for emotional integrity. Most of our parents will plant the seeds for independence, will plant the seeds for success, will plant the seeds for upward mobility, but most of our parents know little to nothing about spiritual mobility. They know religious dogmatic ideation, but do they understand the spirit? This is why so many of us are confused in relationship. This is why so many of us have so many backwards ideas about love. They're rooted in transactionalism, rooted in self-worth. Let me tell you something. You're priceless. And if you're priceless, you can give of yourself and not lose any of your value. I know ain't nobody told you that. We give in search of receiving equal value. Do you understand? When you raise in consciousness to realize that you are one with the source that manifested it all, do you think God can give to you, and whatever portion it gave to you, it now somehow lacks? Do you know the same is true of you? The only thing that limits your ability to really, truly be in yoga, in union, in communion with God is your ego, is your unhealed wounds, your deep-seated issues. These are the barriers that prevent you from aligning with the source that lives in you. The book of John, chapter 1, it is the light that shineth in the darkness, yet the darkness comprehendeth it not. The darkness is the ego. The darkness is the fear. The darkness is the unhealed trauma. Do you understand? Finish playing the clip.
Your parents can cultivate it. They cultivate it by being there, by validating feelings, by making you feel that anything you say won't be judged, or that you're not a bad person, or there's not something wrong with you if you feel a certain way. There's a lot of people right now when they come into therapy that I see they struggle with emotional integrity. I think a lot of times these young people were raised by parents who didn't value their feelings, maybe were callous to them and made them feel like some of their feelings were okay and some of them were not. Some of them you could say, some of them you couldn't. And that's unfortunate. So in a way, we would say those people, my clients, were maybe raised by emotionally neglectful parents, or parents that were really good at putting, food on the table and paying the mortgage, but they weren't necessarily there for their child with their emotions and what they were feeling, and validating those thoughts so that the child knew they could be honest. So as a child grows up, which is you now, you grow up with a sense that I could never say that to my mom and dad because they wouldn't understand, or it would hurt them, or they would think I was a terrible person. Then the other thing is some people have like what I call an emotional identity crisis. Like they get so lost in trying to be like other people, whether it's on social media with influencers or just in their daily life. They're so busy people pleasing or wanting to fit in that they lose sight of who they are, and they grow numb about what they feel. They kind of put what they feel second to what this person that they're trying to impress feels or thinks. And that's always a losing game, because you're going to lose yourself. You're going to start feeling really lonely. And because loneliness is so endemic right now, we don't want to contribute to that any. So if you do realize that your relationship lacks emotional integrity because maybe you or your partner don't have it, are you wondering at that point, what are the signs? I'm going to give you some signs to look for. These are what I look for in my practice when a couple comes in, especially if one of the partners says, I just feel kind of blah, kind of numb. I'm going to be looking for these as I evaluate them. The first thing, one of the partners claims they're not angry or hurt when they are. One of the partners often says nothing is wrong when something clearly is wrong. So one of the partners tries to hide their mistakes or their weaknesses from another. Once again, they learned this in childhood. One of the partners finds the other one very unpredictable. So this would probably, the partner that would feel that way would say that about his partner who maybe is emotionally not they don't have emotional integrity. In other words, the partner married to them feels like there's loose ends there. One of the partners avoids sharing things so they won't be hurtful to the other person. They're often unaware of...
Listen, I'm gonna be the first. I'm guilty. There have been times in my life where I've lacked emotional integrity. And I'm sure of the points that were outlined that describe a lack of emotional integrity. I'm sure you've experienced it, and I'm sure, and when I say experienced it, I mean on the inside and receiving it on the out. So many people act like ain't nothing wrong with them. So how did you get the wrong person? The only way to see the wrong in you is for it to be mirrored back to you. Damn! How hard is that to understand? You need to see an inverted image of your wound so you can see it. And the only way to get that is through intimate relationship. You got people out here in the street, man, got y'all on some goofy. That's why everybody got game. That's why everybody hustling. That's why everybody wearing a mask. Because everybody hurt. So hurt people need a come up. I know you don't want to hear it. Hurt people need a come up. The come up is their ability to fake it until they can get what they need from you. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Who's been on the longest? Hustle from Miami, Florida. Hustle! What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
What's up, bro?
What's happening, man?
So, I've been working with this concept of chasing failure.
Chasing what?
Failure.
Interesting. Go deeper. Explain it. Talk to us.
So, a lot of times we try to avoid failure for comfort, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what you find out is failure is where the growth is. You know what I'm saying? Till you find that limit, you don't really see the next level. I've been in the gym a lot lately, and there's something called training to failure, which is basically doing a set until your arms give out.
Right. Muscle failure. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it made me think, what if we train to failure in relationships?
Come on. No.
Right.
Yeah. Come on. Keep going. I'm with you.
Right. So we trying something. We're trying to, go somewhere with it, and maybe we have to find, let's say, even forgiveness to failure, right? Showing somebody gratitude to failure. And the thing about going to failure is the important thing is you need to rest after you do it.
Right. Rebuild the tissue.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's it, man. I think a lot of times we may go to failure, but then we try to keep pushing beyond where we're at.
Right.
You get me? Mm-hmm. So failure ain't a bad thing. It just shows you where the next level is. That's how I'm looking at it.
I love it, brother. I love it, and I appreciate the good word. Where are you calling in from? Let the good people know. What city did you bring in the building?
Dade County, bitch.
You already know what it is, Dade County. That's Miami, Florida. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We got Attila from Houston, Texas on the line. Attila, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Uncle Zoda, what's up?
Yo, what up?
Oh, man, it's just, I have a few things, just three things. The first being, in regards to the situation, I think how we find ourselves there is that we leverage our traits, kind of like you were talking about before with, what was it? Was it empathy or was it, not empathy? I can't remember. Anyway, when it comes to, I think, characteristics that should have been planted in you in childhood and they weren't, you leverage them.
Emotional integrity is what they were talking about. Yeah.
Right. And so you learn to leverage those traits in a way that can either protect you or advance you in a relationship. And so I think that's kind of how some of us move, because it, kind of creates a relationship chameleon, if you will, in a sense. And so the second thing, and this is shout out to Jack, he made a really good comment in the chat. He was saying no emotional integrity feels too close to being sociopathic. And I would say to that maybe you're just selectively sociopathic. Maybe you're sociopathic, or we would say Machiavellian, when it comes to your needs and your wants. And because it's a way that you're operating that is unconscious to you, it can't really show itself until it's shown to you through relationship. Right. So that's one thing.
No,
and I think the last thing,
wait, before you get to number 3, let's address that piece, because again, we as a society, everything is a soundbite, right? Everything is a soundbite, and right now, one of the biggest soundbites out there is narcissists, right? So we have to be careful when you're talking about the dark triad. You're talking about a sick puppy for the most part, resistant to therapy. You're talking the dark triads, psychopathy. You got that social piece. What is it called? I'm forgetting the word. And then you got Machiavellianism. So you got psychopathy, sociopathy, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. Right? That is your dark triad. This is somebody who even some people would be like, yo, they're evil, right? And those people are rare. I mean, if narcissism is on a spectrum, that's on the far end, right? And I think that the research will say that more people are actually narcissists than we, previously thought. However, to meet somebody that is dark triad, there has to be some crazy wounds in you too, because a narcissist has a favored food source. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I think we have to be careful when we're labeling people like the dark triad and, you know, sociopath and psychopath and, you know, narcissistic and Machiavellian. That's a certain type of just malignant narcissist, and that's I think that's a little bit rarer than we think. Go ahead, finish your third one.
Completely agree. That's why I said it would have to be like a selective. You're choosing like a time to use certain types of traits or whatever, if you will.
Right.
But nonetheless, the last thing I would say is I do think you can become like, you know how they say Munchausen's by proxy, where the parent becomes so like codependent or enmeshed with the child that they start to make them sick.
Right.
I wonder if codependence works in that same way, in a sense, where you can become enmeshed with your partner. And the reason why I bring that up is because I think in regards to failing or failing upwards, if you're dealing with a person who is used to codependent and enmeshed relationships and you have not found that you also exhibit those same traits, then you would exactly be doing that. You would be working together to fail upwards in that regard. So, yeah, that's it. That's all.
No, but I can't let you go, right? Just hold on 1 second.
Okay.
When we sign up for love, are we signing up for the possibility of failing upwards together?
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think so. For sure. I think.
So why isn't that?
Go ahead.
Why is? How do we normalize failing upward together?
Well, just like we would do with anything else. I mean, like I think of it like, for example, if there's a specific field you want to get into or a specific job you want to get or whatever, or, you know, physique, you're in the gym, certain peak, you know, place of health, you don't just give up because it's hard. You would fail upwards. You would try a different diet and it wouldn't work, and you would just keep going. And think about if you had a trainer working with you, right? Your trainer's not going to give up just because they see you're frustrated. So I think we can apply the same thing to our relationships. But it's a curious thing because that's kind of why I asked the question of how are we choosing who we want to fail upward with? I have no answer for that.
Well, let's go back. Are we choosing? Okay, is choosing supply? Because you already understand my concept on supply. I think supply is bidirectional. I think the codependent is looking for supply, just like the narcissist might be looking for or is looking for supply. So if supply is bidirectional, right? I really feel like we're looking for the person that can feed the wound, not heal the wound, not fail upward, not up level, but we're looking for wound maintenance in the partner that we choose. Can we probe into that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, you're looking for wound maintenance, but I think it's disguised as healing. Right, like that's the same thing, but the concept of be his peace or be her peace, whatever. Happy wife, happy life. That's where that comes from. These are disguised as healing techniques, or I see videos all the time. Girl, go heal. Girl, such and such. Do a yoni scene. Whatever it is they be saying. Right. People have all these like techniques and ways to quote unquote find healing or find peace. But if it's not anything that is internal, it really doesn't matter.
Wait, stay right there. Stay right there. If it's not internal, it really doesn't matter. We're going back to Houston, Texas when we come forward. Clearly, we got a lot to talk about.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tavis Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is definitely my co-host tonight. When was the last time you heard George Benson and Kashif? It's not a battle, it's just a contrast. Man, it's a vibe in here tonight. The voice of reason is on complete fire. Tonight's topic is definitely one of them barn burners, man. If you're just tuning in, tonight's topic is, in human relationships, all losses equal wins. And it's predicated on a quote that I heard Tavis Smiley recite over the weekend. And to that point, I think I had heard him quote it before. I think I was on his show early, in the beginning of my tenure here. But he quoted it again over the weekend, and it really resonated with me, and I remembered it. I remembered to write it in my notes, and we cultivated a topic about it. And that quote is: "Ever tried, ever failed. No matter, try again, fail again, fail better." And to incorporate that concept into intimate relationships, I think is exceedingly important. We have a young lady on the line right now who was pontificating on said quote and topic tonight, and she's doing an amazing job. Atala, give us that final thought and tell us more.
Yep. You know how it is, because I totally forgot what I said before I got. It was something about healing internally. Oh, the work has to be done internally. Completely believe that, 100%. anytime I focus my work externally, it has been a complete lesson. I was about to say waste of time, but that's honestly not true. It's been a lesson every single time. I think that in regards to these lessons that we are learning, learn them. And like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean stay, right? But it does mean to actually learn and to not repeat the same thing over and over again. So that's all I got.
Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. My niece is in the building. You already know who it is. It's Attila from Houston, Texas. If you want to bring your city in the building and join this national discussion, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Have you ever noticed that we build a fence around ourselves? A fence of self-protection. A fence to ward off any hurts. A barrier between you and the other. Between you and the family. And so on and so on. There's a barrier between you and the speaker, naturally. You don't know the speaker, and the speaker doesn't know you. Therefore, you are rather politely listening, curious as to what the devil he is talking about, and hoping you will get something out of it after sitting an hour or so in this hot studio. Expecting something, curious, choosing what suits you, what doesn't suit you, listening partially, not entirely, because one doesn't want to expose oneself to oneself. So naturally, one creates either a way. I'm going to give you the rest of this when I come forward, because that is the great Krishnamurti explaining how we're parsing through this tsunami of information, right? That, we're just trying to fit in and find pieces that fit us, and fragmentedly we walk into relationships hoping that someone's fragments will fit our fragments, not understanding the fragments are designed to show you how you can hurt yourself by expecting someone else to complete you. When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue this most powerful discussion.
Love changes, love changes, what love would should do. Love changes, love changes, love changes, love makes one new. Change, wondering if it's real this time, or just another goodbye. You walk around starry-eyed. You can't believe that love would hurt again. I can't believe that this love will make you so happy.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The murder trial of 3 former Memphis police officers who are accused in the beating death of a black man, Tyree Nichols, has entered its second week. A Shelby County judge agreed to allow response to resistance forms filled out by the officers to be introduced as evidence after an attempt by defense attorneys to have them suppressed. Former Memphis police officers Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith are on trial for the beating death of Nicholas during a traffic stop in 2023. Former officers Desmond Mills and Emmett Martin are expected to testify in the case after accepting plea deals. Most voters in a new poll say Taylor Swift's endorsement for Vice President Harris has no impact on how they will vote. 6% of respondents say they were more likely to vote for the Democratic presidential nominee after Swift's nod, and 13% said they're less likely to vote for Harris. Meanwhile, 81% said in the NBC News Ipsos poll that the superstar's endorsement had no influence on how they would vote. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for everything football. Get in on our winner-take-all $300,000 football survivor pool for the upcoming season. Head to the website today. Bet online. The game starts here.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580.
October 2nd is California Clean Air Day. Go Metro for free and help cut down on pollution and traffic. It's our way of thanking you because every ride makes a difference. Let's clear the air together. Ready to go right now? Head to metro.net.
Looks like Bobby needs a ride again.
Grab the keys. Let's take our auntie to the swap meet. Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, do it all in a Chevy SUV. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR on all 2024 Silverado 1500, Blazer EV, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Colorado models. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 12.7%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 9/30/24.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the DIY.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
You just don't understand. Girl, you've been charging by the hour for your love. I've tried to show how much I love you, still believing in romance. You're taking way too many chances.
Now, I'm going to share with you some of the tools that I've learned, and I want you to know vulnerability is an ongoing practice. As much as you may think like I've learned it, I know it, I understand it, it's different when you're actually being vulnerable. It feels extremely uncomfortable, but it is so worth it because it allows you to create such a deep connection with the person that you're with. And yes, there are some challenges when it comes to vulnerability. You may get judged, you may get made fun of, you may get rejected, you may get your heart broken. But not being able to express your truths and really stand up for what you want, including love, saying I love you to someone, you may miss some tremendous, wonderful opportunities for meaningful relationships. Letting your guard down means someone else is going to see all the uncertainty and all the imperfections. But the truth about love is that in order to love, you need to love someone for all of them, flaws and all. People who often...
I know what I'm saying is probably antithetical to what is perceived to be, common sense. Somebody is flawed, you get away from them, right? Because it's easy to talk about being with somebody who is flawed. It's easy to, to say, you know what? I can't deal with this person. I've been hearing it my whole life, from childhood all the way up to adulthood. The best way to reconcile a difference with somebody. And I'm not talking about somebody that has an issue. I'm not talking about somebody that's narcissistic. I'm not talking about somebody that suffers from the dark triad. I'm not talking about a sociopath or a psychopath. You get away from those people. I'm not talking about somebody that's emotionally abusive, psychologically abusive. I'm talking about regular people who still struggle, right? We toss those people aside. We discard those people. We somehow devalue them to think they're not good enough for us. But really, they're really not good enough for their wounds. Because a wound is like a narcissist. It wants obedience. It wants to be fed. I know. Let me go back to that Krishnamurti quote. It's very important. He said, you don't know the speaker, and the speaker doesn't know you. Therefore, you are rather politely listening, curious as to what the devil is he talking about, and hoping you will get something out of it after sitting an hour or so in this hot tent Those are the actual words. I changed it the last time. He said, expecting something, curious, choosing what suits you, what doesn't suit you, listening partially, not entirely, because one doesn't want to expose oneself to oneself. So naturally, one creates either a very, very thin barrier, hardly any, or a definite wall. Why do we do that? Is that not self-interest? And this self-interest must inevitably bring about fragmentation, to break up naturally. You can see the barrier on one side, England the other side, all of Europe and beyond it. There is this constant division. And where there is division, there must be conflict. That is inevitable. Whether you have a very deep, intimate relationship with your wife or husband, or boy or girl, and so on, where there is division, there must be fragmentation. There must be conflict. That is a law, right? Whether you like it or not, that is law. But when one sees that, then the very seeing is the way of breaking down the barrier. Why is this important? See, when you're wounded, barriers are created not just to protect you, but also to protect your childhood wounds. This is why psychologists call them attachment wounds. When we're talking about insecure attachment, they come with their own specific wounds, attachment wounds, right? So where there is a wound, there must be a story. Where there's a story, there must be a thought. Now let's get even deeper, because this is what makes us respond automatically, almost unconsciously, right? When we are triggered by these deep-seated wounds. Krishnamurti said it this way: thought is mechanical, thought is a material process, thought is limited, thought is fragmentary, thought is knowledge, thought is time, thought is the past. The word, the thought, is not the same thing. The thinker is the thought. Thought is the response of memory. Thought is movement. Thought is deviation. In the space that thought creates around itself, there is no love. Thought is a system. How does that apply to your unhealed wounds? Listen to the stories you've told yourself since childhood. My mama said I wasn't enough. You've systematized your victimhood, right? You've immortalized it. You've turned it into your own intrapersonal tradition. This is what you feel about yourself, right? I'm not good enough. Well, if you wasn't good enough for your primary caregiver, your mother, there's no way you could be good enough for somebody else. So you fake it. You wear the mask. And I'm here to tell you, relationships are a fertile ground for the cultivation of our inner worlds. They serve as mirrors, reflecting back to us our vulnerabilities, emotional wounds, and unresolved karmic patterns. As human beings in relationships, we are both agents of transformation and products of the relational field, constantly growing through our failures and mistakes. The idea of failing upward, inspired by Samuel Beckett's famous quote, encourages us to view failure as an integral and necessary step in relational growth and elevation. By failing better, we develop resilience, we deepen empathy, we expand our capacity for love, right? But many of us are afraid to do it because it challenges the notion of what our past said we were to become. And as adults, we see ourselves as the fully realized version of what our past said we would become. Now, if your past said you weren't enough, as an adult, you have internalized that belief system and you have spoke it into existence. And every time a relationship fails, you go back to the past and the past confirms your adult belief. Do you see? When we come forward, we're going to break down some more perspectives about what is necessary for healing and up-leveling in relationships as it pertains to failing upwards.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
How cold Kashif was. Kashif was different. Woo! Baby. Kashif was on fire, man. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed my playlist tonight. I had George Benson and Kashif song for song. It wasn't a battle, but it was definitely a contrast, and I enjoyed it. We have a phone caller on the line from Mexico City, Mexico. Gordon, get on the line and talk to me.
Good evening, though.
What's
How you
up,
doing?
good brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I am well, man. You may know me from my wife, Erin Simon.
Come on, man. I know you.
Okay.
You guys are
Yeah,
family now, man. Y'all done got connected with my son, and, man, y'all family. What's up, brother?
No, I just wanted to call in on the topic, man, because you're talking about failing forward.
Yes.
And, I've been married now. It's going on 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's been an up and down ride, and you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But wanted to ability to fight through it, to get to the other side. You learn a lot about yourself from the marriage, as you have taught me through the mirror, right? So we had things like that, and through it all, it's like you make it through the fire, and through it all, it really is worth all the hard work.
And let me just say this, man. We got to shout out your wife.
Yes.
Listen, man, I'm not going to get too personal, but my brother who is on the phone, let me just say it, he almost died.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, he literally almost died. And I'm going to tell you right now, his wife on the spirit side was like Xena the warrior princess over this dude.
Mm-hmm.
She reached out, and, hey, we need prayers. We need to organize. Like, listen, she held a vigil for this brother, unlike anything I had ever seen. And, man, all I could do, hey, we going to pray. We going to, you know what I'm saying? Just, man, let me just say, man, you blessed, number one, to have someone who can go, through the valley. Like, she went through the valley with you, brother. And you guys got those beautiful kids, man. And just, man, I appreciate you and her, for just being on my journey with me and being able to extrapolate some kind of meaning out of the work that I've been doing. And I definitely want to shout her out for just holding that vigil for you, brother. She's a great woman, and you're lucky.
And she is, and I want to just, to the callers, let her know that, like you said, she saved my life. And she was there, every day. She saved my life. She held me down. She did everything. She did all that with me, and also took care of the household and the children, and she kept everything in order. Really is just an exceptional woman. And, I couldn't say, anything better about her. She's the best thing that happened to me. So,
man,
definitely.
And make no mistake, Gordon, she was doing that while keeping it together, while breaking down herself. Like, come on, it's not like she had the strength to lift it, but she lifted it anyway. So we have to acknowledge that, man. A lot of times we see a lot of negative tropes, black men and black women, but nah. You guys are the polar opposite of that goofy narrative that's out there, man. And I'm just deeply thankful that you guys allow me and my son to inspire you guys and your children. And listen, man, you family forever, brother, and I appreciate you for calling in all the way from Mexico, man.
Yeah, from Mexico, and I watched News Game the other morning. I was up early watching this game. So shout out to New, man, doing his thing out there in Turkey, man, and we love your family as well, man. I was just up late, man. I'm usually in bed by now, but I was sitting around. I say, let me see if I can call in. So.
Hey, man, it ain't nothing but love, man. We appreciate you, and you already know you got a seat at the table anytime you want it.
All right, man. Good talking to you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So let's just listening to that brother, man, it's an inspiration, man. They've been following me for years, man, reading my books and reaching out and telling me how I've impacted them. And again, I'm humbled because What are we doing it for if nobody is changing, if nobody's listening? The idea of failing upward, inspired by Samuel Beckett's famous quote, right? It encourages us to view failure as an integral and necessary step, right, in relational growth and elevation. By failing better, we benefit from falling upwards. Now, of course, all of this is grounded in psychological, spiritual, and metaphysical concepts. One of those concepts is emotional honesty over comfort. Right? This is how we can fail upwards. Emotional honesty over comfort. The first sign that a relationship can benefit from failing upwards is when emotional honesty takes precedent over comfort. As Krishnamurti asserts, we must have the courage to confront the what is of our emotions, even when it causes discomfort. When partners are willing to express their true feelings, even at the risk of conflict, they can create space for deeper authenticity. Failure to communicate or articulate emotions might initially strain the relationship, but it can also lead to a more honest and integrated bond, right? Conflict as a catalyst for growth. Number 2, drawing from the work of Carl Jung, who believed that conflict is essential for individuation. Another sign is when conflict serves as a transformative tool rather than a destructive force. Relationships that can withstand periods of disagreement and discord are often those that ultimately grow stronger. The process of failing in communication or misunderstanding each other often allows partners to work through shadow aspects of themselves, which could foster a deeper form of intimacy or empathy in that relationship. I have more, but we don't have the time, the willingness to self-sabotage. Cycles of rupture and repair. I need you to hear that. Cycles. According to John Bowlby's attachment theory, healthy relationships are not devoid of conflict, but rather are adept at repairing ruptures, plural. When partners fail in moments of misunderstanding but commit to the process of repair, the relationship can ascend to higher levels of trust and security. A la what Hustle just told us. Ego surrender and mutual vulnerability. Empathy grows out of misunderstanding. Relinquishing control for greater freedom. Listen to that. The reassessment of unconscious expectations, commitment to the process, not the outcome, resilience in the face of repeated mistakes. My God! People aren't relating like this. People are running from these concepts. You don't want to fail upwards. You just want to get what you want. I started the conversation. It's really up to you to finish it. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. You already know what I do. This is the beginning. Tomorrow I'm going to come back and slap you upside the dome. Peace on your way home from Jones Beach. We got more.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black and